Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We recite the 25th Sabad from Asa Mahalla Paila, composition of the first Nanak, and it is a chaupada, 4 stanzas. And the recitation first. Asa Mahalla Paila Chaupade Vidya Vichari Tanh Paraupakari Ja Pancharasi Ta Tirathvasi Kunguru Vaje Je Man Lagੈ Tau Jam Kahan Kare Mosyon Agੈ Rahau Aas Nirasi Tau Sannyasi Jan Jat Jogi Ta Kaya Pogi दया दिगंबर देह बिचारी आप मरे अवरा न हमारी एक तू होर वेस बहु तेरे नानक जाने चोज न तेरे. So Guruji is addressing the various religious practices of the day, then and now, and is actually pointing out the essence of these practices. What does the essence consist of? You have to remember that most religious practices are transactional in nature. They are based on desires. They're usually external rituals. And so let's see how Guruji corrects our understanding about all of these different practices. The first one that he talks about is părਉpakari. Părਉpakari means philanthropy or being a benefactor. And we all fancy ourselves now and then as benefiting somebody or practicing philanthropy. I mean, a lot of people do that. But the Guru is saying, look, ta părਉpakari, you can call yourself a philanthropist, or philanthropy is possible only if Vidia Vichari Tanh Paraupakari, when the mind is enlightened. Vichari, Vidya, knowledge, when you have reflected on self-knowledge and you're enlightened, then you practice being a true benefactor to others, because the ego is not involved. Similarly, ja pancharasi ta tirathvasi, pilgrimage. Millions of people go to pilgrimages in the expectation that it will bring them some benefit. But the Guru says, ja pancharasi, a pilgrimage is beneficial only ja pancharasi, where the 5 senses have been roped in. Rasi, to rope in. Ja panch is the 5 senses. Ta tirathvasi, then you reside actually in the inner pilgrimage, the shrine within. And in the Rahau, he brings about the real reason that we are engaged in religious ritual. Essentially, fear of death, to ward off the fear of death. So he says, Gunguru Vajja. This is a statement of fact. Gunguru Vajja. Gunguru here, a rattle. The rattle is that of death, which is forever sounding. Gunguru Vajja. Now, most translations have translated Gunguru to mean the tinkling of bells, some celestial music will play if your mind is stable. But it seems to me that what the Guru is asserting here is to say that the fear of death is upon us all the time. Gunguru Vajja. But then he says, Je man lagੈ. If the mind is centered in the self, if the mind is embedded in the self, and if it embodies self-knowledge, je man lagay, then tau jam kahan kare moko agay. You see, he's talking about death. So he couldn't be talking about listening to celestial music in your mind in this particular rahau. So the rattle of death is ever sounding, but if the mind is centered in the self, then what can death do to me? Tau jam kahan kare moh se aage, ultimately, in the future. Again, he's pointing out that it's the mind that has to stabilize. And then all of these external rituals are really unnecessary or ineffective. And he goes on to provide other examples on how to live. Asa nirasi to sannyasi. Sannyasi, a renunciate. This is a long tradition of renouncing the world in the hopes of finding God. But the Guru says that's really not the way. You don't have to leave the world. What you have to leave is attachment to outcomes, expectations. As and nirasi. As, expectations, nirasi, unattached. Tau sannyasi, then you are a renunciate. You see, you can renounce the world, go into the jungles, but still be attached to things in the world. So the Guru says, really, give up attachment to outcomes. Do what you have to and leave the outcome to the ordinance of the divine. Jan jat jogi ta kaya bhogi. Jat jogi. If you fancy yourself a yogi who has restrained his senses, then ta kaya bhogi. You are a yogi only if you have enjoyed the experience of the self within the body. And now he talks to the Jain sects, the Digambaras, the unclad. Digambar means one without clothes, and is the name of a Jain sect. Now, the Digambars walk around naked and take extreme care in making sure that they don't even kill any insect that they might accidentally step on. So that is the degree to which they've taken non-violence. But the Guru has another sense of what non-violence is. He says, look, being unclad physically is not the point. The point is to be clad with compassion. Daya, Digambar, and to be a Digambar is to have reflected on the purpose of the body. Because what they are practicing is negation of the body. And the Guru is saying, no, reflect on why the body has been given, so that you can experience the spirit within. Aap mare avara nahi mari. Avara nahi mari, to kill another, violence. The Guru is saying, if you're that concerned about violence to others, kill your ego. That is true non-violence. If you want to practice non-violence, kill your ego. Aap mare avara nahi mari. And in the end, the Guru says, I understand not your wondrous bliss. Nanak jane choj na tere. I can't figure you out. Ek tu, you're one. Hor ves bahut tere. But with so many different forms. It is just an incredible play. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.